everyone, this is Mageshwari from Velsanur University. I am working as the associate professor. So today we are going to discuss about the drug information services. So we all know about the drug information services. We know the drug, but where we are getting the drug information. So we are having the three type of sources. So in this presentation we are going to discuss about what is the introduction and history of drug information center and drug information sources. So from what are the sources we are using for getting the information for the drugs and answering of the queries, and drug information bulletin summary and references. So these are the things we are going to discuss. So coming to the introduction, so growth of medical information at an alarming rate. So vast data by FDA and from the clinical investigations and decision to choosing the best information. So we are having the vast and so much information in the internet and other sources, but where we are getting the correct source for the particular drug, and WHO developing the drug information center to promote the rational use of drugs. And coming to the drug information, the provision of written or verbal information about the drug and drug therapy in response to a request from other healthcare providing organizations, committees, patients and public. So first you should know about the drug information center. So drug information center will be in the hospitals. In the multi-specialty hospitals will be having the drug information center. So the setup will be, the one room will be there, and the pharmacist is responsible for the drug information center. They will be having one system. So in the system they are having the particular mail IDs. So from that mail IDs the pharmacist is getting the getting mails from the doctors, nurses and other healthcare professionals. So if they are having any doubts regarding the drugs and drug related issues, ADR, ADR drug information, then drug interactions and drug interactions and drug and food interactions. So if they are having any doubts, they can send queries to the drug information center. So who is responsible for answering the queries? So the pharmacist is the responsible for answering the queries. So pharmacist is getting information from the various sites. So here we are having the so many drug informative sources like primary sources, secondary sources and tertiary sources. So from the sources the pharmacist is getting the information and sending the mail reply to the particular persons like doctors, nurses and other healthcare professionals. So coming to the drug information center, it provides an in-depth unbiased source of crucial drug information to meet needs of the practicing physician, pharmacist and other healthcare professionals. So what is the mission of the drug information services? So to increase the community knowledge and awareness about the drug and drug use. So we are giving the knowledge and awareness about the use of the drugs to the public. And coming to the history, so the first DIC at the University of Kentucky in 1960. So in US 80% of the hospitals are having the drug information center. So in Indian scenario, so WHO India country office in KSPC, that is Karnataka State Pharmacy Council. So we are having the 5 DIC in India. The first one is the Haryana, then Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Assam and Goa. So ideal drug information services, so geared to the need of its users. So information dependable, timely and standard, and expertise should be readily accessible, and standard operating procedures for the categorizing the enquiries and maintaining the pattern. So information to the optimal usage of the drugs. So the staff, the pharmacy team, that is pharmacist is responsible for the drug information center. So pharmacy technicians and students, and in medical team, toxicologist, clinical pharmacologist, and supporting team people trained in library science with the computer knowledge. So these are the persons are responsible for drug information center. So in the toxicologist also available in the drug information center. So if any overdose or if any poison for the drugs, they can send the antidotes for the persons. So objectives of the drug information center to promote the evidence based practice and meet the patient's needs while providing the care, then improve the patient adherence and to provide the accurate and unbiased information, to provide an organized database. So available information in the DIC, so general information, pharmacological information like what is the category of the drug and what is the mechanism of action, and what is the ADR, adverse drug reaction, and what is the drug-drug interaction, and what is the drug and food interactions, and toxicity of the drugs, formulation, then pharmacokinetics, adverse effects, and pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. So sources of the information, so we are having the vast of sources of the information. So we are getting the classification of the scientific literatures. So we are having the primary sources, secondary sources, and tertiary sources. So in the primary sources like patent, conference papers, abstracts, case reports, journal articles, and correspondence and thesis. So from these things we are getting the primary sources of the drugs. Then coming to the secondary sources, bibliographics, reviews, abstracting and indexing services. So from here we are getting the secondary sources. And coming to the tertiary sources, that is textbooks. So from the textbooks, if we are getting any information, that is comes under the tertiary sources. So primary sources like original information, scientific journals, theses, and proceedings of the conferences. So from here we are getting the primary sources. And secondary sources, the database like PubMed, Embase, Scopus, and National Library of Medicine. Then drug information services, we are having the separate website for getting the datas. And tertiary sources like textbook on drug or disease topics, pharmacopoeias, IP, UP, USB, and BNF, etc. And encyclopedia, dictionaries, and guides. And other sources like public and hospitals about the adverse event of the drug, and local drug list, national formularies, hospital formularies, internet phone calls to manufacturer, and government and non-government organizations, and other drug information services. Then services offered, so information about the drugs and poison management information, and patient education services. Then assistant on drug usage in patients, and professional assistance for investigations in drug usage, and drug related information to hospital services, reporting and investigating the ADRs. And steps in answering. So what are the steps we are having to answer the queries? So first we have to classification of the question. So first we have to classify the question, we are getting what type of questions, and we have to collect the background information of the question and search of the literature. Then we have to search the literatures for the answers, and preparation of the response of the answers. Then we have to prepare the answer for the questions. So per example, we are getting the percentage of queries like general medicine 50 to 60, then gynecology 10%, and pediatrics 10%, and pharmacist 15%, and others we are getting the 20%. So these are the percentage of the questions in the drug information services, drug information center. They are getting the questions. Then the categorization of the drug information queries based on the status of the inquirer. So physician is asking 25 to 30 questions and pharmacist is asking 15 to 20 questions, and interns students are asking 45 to 50 questions, and others are asking 10 to 20% of the questions. Then categorization of the drug information queries based on the type of query. So these are the adverse drug reactions, drug interactions, they are getting 0 to 5%, and dosage information 10 to 15%, and drug therapy 5 to 10%, and indications 10 to 15%, and others 25 to 30%. And a drug information bulletin for the transmission of the information to the members of a healthcare team, and regular publications is needed on the latest developments. So the illegal DIC, so report the abused drugs for victimizing some innocent. So Illinois State Police has started this to report the such cases of drug abuse and spread awareness in both the public and officials to ban such drugs, that is some ODC selling drugs, and governed by DEA. So coming to the summary, so DICs are recorded as a gateway of drug information services. So they have the responsibility to provide the highest possible standard information and sources of information. They are having many sources of information, that is primary sources, secondary sources, and tertiary sources. And DICs aim at rational use of drugs. So a proper working DIC is necessary to make the best use of its services. Thank you.